including portions of the city of Bowling Green. You need to be in shelter and start heading that way immediately.
All right, I'm opening up our camera network here. And we do have a camera in Russellville, but it more faces towards the north, so may not give us too much of a view. But there is currently a tornado warning is now in effect for a Bowling Green, and this storm has now pushed into southwestern parts of Logan County here. And trying to get up our Russellville cam, I'll show you that in just a moment. But if you are just joining us, this is a storm and a tornado that's been tracking for many miles now coming out of Tennessee. And the storm is now near Lickskillet. That's where we have the strongest rotation, just to the south of Olmsted. Please remain in your safe zone. Oakville, be in your safe zone. You don't have a whole lot of time before this storm is knocking on your door. This is how it looks right now in Russellville. Right now, we're just seeing some very, very heavy rain.
They will be canceling the Todd County tornado warning any minute now.
Okay, so the warning's about to expire in Todd County as the storm is now into Logan County. A Russellville cam is loading up here. It's probably taken a little bit of a power hit, just because when these storms roll on through, our camera network sometimes loses its signal. Here we go. You can see this is what's happening right now in Russellville, just getting some very heavy rain, but there is a tornado warning now in effect. It continues to be in effect for Russellville. So if you're out and about right now, again, if you've been getting those alerts on your phone, wrap up any of those plans, head to a safe spot. If you're out at a store and you don't have what you feel like is enough time to head back home, then stay where you're at. That's actually a better idea, is just to stay where you're at. If you're already in a secure location, stay in that secure location. So this is how it looks as we speak in Russellville. Now I'm going to go to a radar here, and this is the radar that you're typically used to seeing. It's kind of a mess, and so these tornadoes can be rain wrapped. They can very much be rain wrapped. And when we look at radar here, I'm going to stop it. You can kind of see how this storm has that. It doesn't have a classic supercell look to it, but you can certainly see that around in this area, this is where we're likely getting the strongest rotation. And there's even a possibility, I'll pop up on screen here so you can see me. I'm going to bounce all over the place here. There's even the possibility there could be a little bit of debris in there as well in this area right here as it continues to move into portions of Logan County here. So we continue with these tornado warnings. They are in effect for southern Logan County as well as Warren County. You can see over there into Woodburn. They had a parade not too long ago. Thankfully, it was earlier. Folks are now likely back home. This warning is just to the north of Franklin, but if you're in Franklin, I still want you to keep an eye on what we're tracking here, because sometimes these storms can shift a little bit north or a little bit south. If you're in a Bowling Green, I know you can't see it on the map right now, this is where the storm is, and obviously Bowling Green, we still have some time. So there's plenty of time for folks to be able to actually get into their safe zone. So that's what is good about this warning coming out very early here. Folks do have the opportunity to take shelter. So I'm going to pull away from the storm just a little bit to give folks in Warren County an idea of who's in the warning right now. Again, your alerts have been probably going off. I'm not sure why I can't move. There we go. So Bowling Green, Petros, as well as Woodburn, Drake under this warning. But the strongest rotation is passing by Allensville and Lickskillet right now. Olmsted could be seeing some hail in addition to winds probably gusting on the order of 60 to 70 miles per hour. So that's where the strongest rotation is right now. I'm going to go back to our velocity product so you can see where the rotation is, and it's still looking pretty good as the storm is right now outside, just outside of a lick skillet. It is heading towards 96 here, over there near Red Oak Church. So if you're in the Oakville area right now, take cover, stay in your safe spot. Even into Cave Springs, please stay in your safe spot. You can see our latest scan here really puts the storm right between Oakville and Cave Springs, so as we have a large and very dangerous tornado likely on the ground. This storm has been tracking since it was over there in Tennessee, and it has been producing a tornado for a good majority of the path here. Hello, Sarah.
Hello. I have a guest on the phone asking if you know what direction we're currently looking at for any tornadic activity.
Oh, well, we've got some warnings in effect right now, so they're moving to the northeast. So, yeah, just tell them to be on the lookout, and if they get any alerts on their phone, to seek shelter.
We do have, so you can see on the map, any area that is outlined in that red polygon, which includes the city of Bowling Green, you need to be in shelter immediately. We still have to assume that this tornado is on the ground and approaching these areas, including Logan, northern Simpson, and southern Warren County. There's still a pretty good signature of rotation occurring. So again, we have to assume the tornado is on the ground. And make sure you are in your shelter. Take your phones with you if you have them. If you're not able to be in a safe space with your TV, we are on Facebook Live right now, so you can sign on, listen to us there, take us into your safe spot, and listen to us. We will give you the all clear once it has passed through the county or area that is being affected.
Oh, sorry. I was double checking to see if our live stream is going. Our live stream is going as well, so you can find us on WBKO.com. So there are many ways for you to be watching us right now, and we're going to try to hit as many streams as we possibly can. If you're watching this Facebook Live, share it. Can't get enough shares on this, because if you're just joining us right now, we do have a tornado warning that is in effect for south central Logan County. Here is where our strongest rotation is. It's just to the south of Cave Springs and also north of Oakville, and it's about to cross over 96 and eventually 431, which does run into Russellville. Russellville, you are on the northern edge of this tornado warning. I want you to stay in your safe zone. And heads up for folks out there into Auburn, as well as Rockfield, along Russellville Road, 68. Most of that road from Bowling Green to Russellville is included in the tornado warning. And we also have the warning extending all the way into southern Warren County, including Woodburn, Salmons, and northern Simpson County. And there have been reports, there's been video of a large and very dangerous tornado on the ground. We're still getting a very, very good signature here just to the north of Red Oak Church. We could certainly be dealing with a possible tornado right in this area right here, where you see the arrow. That is where we likely have a tornado on the ground right now.
Russellville camera, there's heavy rain right now. It does look like there might even be some hail that is occurring as well. I see there's some water starting to pond on the roadways, and that's going to be that can very easily be a thing today with the heavy rainfall, with how fast it comes down. Sometimes the drainage ditches in the sewers have a tough time keeping up with that. So be mindful of that. And this live look outside right now at Russellville. Not anything you really want to be outside in. And I believe Russellville is still within that tornado warning, if not very close. Yes. So you need to be in cover until that warning has expired. It does look like they just trimmed a portion of Logan County out of that tornado warning. Would be western portions of Logan County.
So, yeah, in addition to not just the tornado threat, we're getting strong winds and very, very heavy rainfall. I would just advise you, if you're in that tornado warning right now, you shouldn't be out driving. And if you are driving, I'm hoping that you're able to get to your safe location as quickly as possible. Again, if you are just tuning in, and right now I can see our Facebook Live has 4,000 views right now. So a lot of folks are watching, wondering what's going on. And so here is the very latest. If you're just joining us, I'm keeping an eye on the comments here. It's one of those days in which it's going to be impossible to answer every single question that we have, but I'm going to try to give you as much information as I possibly can, as we possibly can. Davis Wells is also in studio as well. But you can see that we do have a very strong rotation here between Russellville and Oakville. This is over there near Whittaker Grove Church. And you can see it's crossing over 431 right now. Davis, have there been any additional reports of confirmation of this tornado still on the ground in Logan County?
So I just followed up with the National Weather Service in Louisville. The tornado has been on the ground for some time and continues to move into an environment favorable to keep this storm going. People in Bowling Green, especially on the south side, should take this storm seriously as it approaches. So again, we have, let me see here, we do have some damage reports out of Todd County, just southwest of Allensville on 79. Numerous trees and power lines with barns destroyed, roof damage. I'm not sure, David, if we can get a storm track on an estimated time as to what areas will be impacted by this. But again, we still have to assume this tornado is on the ground. It's still showing a really a good signature on the radar that would definitely support a tornado being possible.
So yeah, here's our center circulation right now, right in between Russellville and Oakville. Stay in your safe zone, please, if you are in either one of those locations. If you're in the town of Dennis, this is very, very close to your neck of the woods right now. So I'm going to zoom out here, and we'll put on. I'm going to put on a track for you. The storm is moving. How fast is this tornado moving?
Let me get you an answer here. Data feed. 4.
Try that again. I'm just going to assume around probably 50 miles an hour or so.
It's not. Let me see here. Russellville.
Search it, WBKO. WBKO first alert weather. That it's a great app for not just severe weather, but for day-to-day weather. Little bit of time left. Before this storm impacts you, South Union 249, New Friendship Church.
We do have an update from the National Weather Service. As of 2 minutes ago, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located 3 miles southeast of Russellville, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. So this is, as of 2 minutes ago, this is still a large and confirmed tornado on the ground. So if you are in areas ahead of this storm, New Friendship Church, South Union, even areas of Browning and eventually Bowling Green, you need to be in your safe place immediately. These storms can't start getting in cover now. If you know anybody that lives in these areas, text them, call them, let them know they are in the line of a storm. They need to be in a safe place. That's going to be the lowest level of your home, on the lowest floor, most interior portion, near the center, away from windows. If you have a pair of shoes, put those on. You just never know in the event you would need to evacuate after the storm were to pass from potential storm damage. Also, make sure you've got your devices charged while if these areas still have power, which actually that reminds me, I'm going to check and see what the power outage situation is, if there's anybody that's being
that has a history of producing damage. I've seen some video of it coming out of parts of Tennessee, and this tornado has been on the ground for a little time here. And the latest tornado warning right now, including southern parts of Warren County and the city of Bowling Green, continues until 3:15. So this is still over the next 30 to 45 minutes here. A tornado producing storm has been confirmed. And again, right now it is actually near 68, which is Russellville Road. If you're in Auburn, please be in your safe zone. Right now, this storm is heading your way. And just to recap what your best safe zone is, that's going to be an interior closet or a bathroom. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible so that you can be in the best location in the event that this tornado does actually impact you. And have pillows, have as much stuff for the kids to keep them calm as well, because this is obviously a stressful situation. We want to make sure that the kids are all right. And don't forget your pets as well. That safe zone, obviously make sure that it is large enough for everybody to be in. And not only are blankets and pillows and towels a good idea, but you can even bring in a bike helmet as well. A bike helmet will obviously protect your head. If you have multiple bike helmets, that's even better. So for Auburn right now, we don't have much time. The storm is knocking on your door, South Union as well. This takes us right up Russellville Road and eventually into Warren County. So we're going based on these radar updates here and looking at Doppler max. Not only is it the tornado threat here that we are dealing with, but we're also dealing with the very, very heavy rain. This makes the tornado very difficult to actually see. Do not go out and try to view this thing. Don't think that you're a storm chaser or anything like that. Just please don't. You're putting yourself at serious risk here. But you can see that we've got some torrential rain into Auburn, Russellville. Things are getting a little bit better for you. The rotation is now to your southeast. And you can see that small warning in effect for part of the Russellville area, that's about to expire here in 4 minutes. The bigger warning, 3:15, that does include the Bowling Green area and much of south central Warren County. There is a large and potentially dangerous, well, it is a dangerous tornado on the ground right now as we speak, just to the south of Russellville. It is heading over there towards the Auburn area. So if you're in Auburn, you need to be in your safe zone now. Petros, be in your safe spot. Browning, if you're in Bowling Green, be in your safe location now. Memphis Junction, Rich Pond. If you are even over there towards the Alvaton area, you are included in this warning. Woodburn as well. So this, again, is a very, very dangerous situation. We have reports of damage out there into parts of Todd County.
Logan County as well.
Logan County as well.
Damaged homes and barns.
Okay, damaged homes and barns. So this is... We're getting structural damage here, which is an indication that this is a pretty strong tornado. All right, right now, the latest warning has come in from the Weather Service. We do have a tornado warning. It remains in effect until 3:15 for central Logan, south or northwestern Simpson, and southwestern Warren counties. We're just getting an indication based on this warning that it's a radar-indicated tornado. But this storm has produced a large and a dangerous tornado. So even though the warning just says radar-indicated tornado, still could have a tornado on the ground as we speak. There was a confirmation of a tornado on the ground just to the south of Russellville. Over there towards Auburn, that is where the strongest rotation is as we speak. I'm going to get another look at velocity here. And you can see, yeah, over there towards the Auburn area, it's not looking as great of a signature as it was before, but keep in mind the radar is also scanning higher in the sky here. So we are certainly assuming that there is still a tornado on the ground with this as it does approach Auburn. It's likely over Auburn right now. South Union, be in your safe spot. Petros, if you live along Russellville Road, which is Route 68, of course, you'll want to be in your safe zone. We do have a tornado warning in effect for the Rich Pond community along with Woodburn. Shawnee Estates, Bowling Green is in this warning. And this continues for the next 30 minutes.
We do have some video of a very, very low wall cloud that passed through in Olmsted, as well as barn damage as well. I mean, the barn itself has pretty much a whole corner taken out of it. So this is definitely a powerful storm that needs to be treated seriously. This image coming in from Zan Lee out of Olmsted. So thank you for sending this in. And be mindful, too, if with these storms passing through, this is not something that you want to be necessarily going outdoors to try and get pictures. Your safety is the most important thing that that's most important for all of us here, and that's what we're trying to do. But, if after the storm has passed and you don't have any warnings issued for your area and it's safe to go out and there's no power lines down, feel free to send us those photos in on social media, the WBKO First Alert weather page or Twitter, or even send us in the images at WBKO.com as well.
So the very latest on the storm right now, the circulation that we are watching is right by Auburn. This is along 68, again, which is Russellville Road. So if you're in South Union, Petros, you need to seek shelter now, as the storm is really just knocking on your door here. Let me move radar around just a little bit.
We do have an update from National Weather Service. So thankfully, it looks like the storm has lost a little bit of its debris ball. So they believe that the tornado has lifted, but there's no confirmation of that. But given that the environment is still suitable for tornadoes, hence the tornado watch that was issued earlier today, it's very possible that this storm could again form the tornado in be back down on the ground. So even though if you are still in that tornado warning, you need to continue to take this very, very seriously.
Tornadoes can recycle. So yes, even if this tornado has lifted, it could certainly drop again at any moment. If you're under a tornado warning, be in your safe zone. St. Mars School as well as Rockfield are in the path of this storm. Rockfield, you have less than 10 minutes now. South Union, the storm is basically over you as we speak. Petros, take shelter. That is taking us into a Warren County. And so the storm continues through Logan County. It's been moving very, very quickly, 55 to even 60 miles per hour. So this is a fast-moving storm. You can see where Bowling Green is, and we are continuing to monitor any sort of a wobble with this storm here. You can look at it over the last, if we look at it over like the last hour or so. I'm going to put on a loop here. You can see that it's been pretty consistent with its motion, which again we'll push it close to Bowling Green in the next 25 to 30 minutes or so. So if you are in Bowling Green, please be in your safe zone. This warning has been out for a little while, so it's given you some time to be able to seek shelter, to take your phone with you so that you can watch us on Facebook Live. If you have a TV, maybe that's the way you're getting this alert right now. Turn it up as loud as you possibly can so that you can hear us from your safe zone. And again, just be mindful of your pets. Obviously, make sure that everyone in your family is safe. Right now, again, this storm, according to the Weather Service, has lost a little bit of its signature, which is obviously good news, but at the same time, these storms can certainly recycle and produce tornadoes. Once they've had a history of producing tornadoes, they can keep producing tornadoes.
We do have that storm pulled up now on our tower cam. There's quite a few lightning strikes that we're starting to see out ahead of this storm as well. And you might even be able to hear the thunder in the background. I'll try and move over here too so the people on Facebook Live can hear me as well. The latest information from the National Weather Service is that it appears that the tornado has potentially lifted as of right now. Now, with the environment still being suitable for tornadic activity with the tornado watch that has been issued, tornadoes can drop back down, if the ingredients are still there, and that is certainly kind of what we're looking at right now. The environment is favorable for this, so do not let your guard down if you are in that tornado warning for portions of Warren, Logan, and northern Simpson County. That's in effect until 3:15. Be in shelter immediately.
And also be mindful, and this is coming from my fiancée Megan, this is actually a very good notification here, that there are tornado shelters located throughout many counties here in south central Kentucky. So if you don't feel like you're in the safest location and you are in Warren County and you have a little bit of time here, maybe you're less than 5 minutes from a shelter and you feel like you want to head there, you may be able to do that. But I really advise you at this point to be in your safe zone at home, or if you're out somewhere, if you're in a sturdy structure away from windows, that is probably the best spot for you to be right now. But of course, there are tornado shelters located in various areas around the region. So getting back to velocity here, I want to show you where the storm is and where it's moving as we speak. It's still not in Warren County just yet, but it's getting pretty close. Actually, it is getting very close as we speak. It's kind of running right up or very nearby Russellville Road. It is near Petros as we speak. The signature not looking great on radar, but this is a high radar scan here, so we're not getting the real lowest level of the atmosphere. So this storm is about ready to move on into Warren County. But if you're in Browning, if you're in Woodburn, I want you to seek shelter now. Stay in your safe zone. If you live anywhere along Nashville Road, 31 West, seek shelter right now, because much of 31 West is included in this warning. Bowling Green, if you know folks who are on the campus of Western Kentucky, make sure that they are seeking shelter. Anywhere around Bowling Green, you need to be in your safe zone right now. We are getting some heavy rain on our roof. And again, the signature not looking the greatest, but we could get another scan and the tornado could be reconfirmed down on the ground. Again, you don't have too much time in and around Bowling Green. And in addition to the tornado threat, we're also getting some pretty loud booms of thunder as well. Here's a look at what we're seeing here on radar, and we certainly still have the hook. We still have a little bit of an appendage here as the storm is beginning to push into Bowling Green. Now, the part of the storm that's moving into Bowling Green has a tendency to produce very strong winds and even some isolated hail. The kind of atmosphere that we're in, there's not a ton of what we refer to as instability, which is heat energy. Obviously, we get that during the warm season, but we have a lot of wind shear. So these storms, once they develop, they're in an atmosphere that's very favorable for rotation. And so the only warning we have in effect right now is the warning that includes northern Simpson County, as well as eastern Logan and southwest Warren County. And of course, that includes the city of Bowling Green. And going back to, I'm just going to go back to regular sweeping radar here.
Something else that's beneficial too with the end of the semester, there probably will not be many.
Come over this way.
With it being the end of the semester, there probably will not be, hopefully not too many people on campus, but if there are still some employees that are within the area, Western Kentucky University, you need to also be included in the shelter. Go to the lowest level of the dorms that you might be in. I know a lot of campuses nowadays, they do have tornado safe spaces. That's an excellent opportunity to move into one of those areas.
And again, if you are just hopping on with us, we are monitoring the possible tornado that has passed. It's passing by Petros as we speak, Memphis Junction, and this is just outside of Bowling Green. So if you're in Bowling Green, please be in your safe spot. Now is not a great time to try to hop to another location because the storm is really just knocking on our doorstep. And as we are speaking right now, the alerts are going off. We've got another tornado warning.
They are extending that.
That has been extended now into Barron County. So this includes you out there, really all of Barron County under this tornado warning. And, well, actually, I'm sorry, take it back there. Western parts of Barron County, I apologize there. This does actually include the Glasgow area. Basically all of South and Eastern Warren County is under this warning, with the exception of far southern parts of the county. It also includes parts of Edmonson County, including the Rock Hill area over there towards Pig Park City as well. So I'm going to focus in on the storm as it does approach the Bowling Green area. We're going to go back to our camera here. We're going to see if we can see anything as the storm tries to move in from the southwest. So this is what we're looking at right now. It's a big curtain of rain here, but we certainly, if you look hard enough, especially towards the left edge of your screen, certainly a possibility that we do have a little bit of a lowering, but there's a lot of rain in there, so it's very, very difficult to tell. I can still see enough people out there on Russellville Road. If you're along Russellville Road and you're getting those warnings now, please stop and find a good secure location. We do have a tornado warning that is in effect. We have had history of this storm producing a tornado. It started in Tennessee and continued through Todd and into Logan County. The latest report from the National Weather Service is that a severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado. It was located about 8 miles southwest of Memphis Junction and moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. That is the latest warning from the National Weather Service. So this is the storm. This is what we're looking at right now. This is our live AAA systems camera looking towards the southwest here. There's potentially a tornado in there. There's certainly some pretty vivid flashes of lightning, and we're getting a little bit of rain on the camera there, so that's kind of obscuring the view. But we certainly have a wall cloud in there, and from a wall cloud, that's where you can possibly get a tornado here. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to go back to our velocity product here and give you an idea of where the storm could be as we speak. The exact, or a pretty good location. Rockfield, right now, the storm is likely right over you. The way the storm is moving, it will pass very, very close to Bowling Green within the next 15 minutes or so. And we're going to put a tracker on this.
David, I'm going to go chat with our upstairs team real quick just to let them know with the storm being close that they should be in shelter. We'll continue to be on air for this.
Good idea.
Even here at WBKO, we're taking our shelter precautions very seriously.
Yes,
So
yeah.
if you can hear me in the WBKO studio, we're going to have everyone in studio take shelter
We do
with the storm approaching.
We do have a tornado warning that is in effect for southern parts of Warren County. This storm is right down near the actually it's passed by Petros. It is over there, very close to Memphis Junction, Shawnee Estates. You are in the cone here. Let me redo this cone here so that you can see some of your towns that may be popping up. So we're going to stay on air as long as the signal lets us. Hopefully Hopefully the signal will continue to go for us, but so if you're over there at Lost River Cave, about 5 minutes, so this gives you an idea that we're kind of on the south end of Bowling Green here. Western Kentucky, you have just a couple of minutes here, so this storm continues to move on in to the Bowling Green area. Going back to our camera here, let's keep an eye on our camera here, see what we're looking at. This is along Russellville Road right now. Not really seeing too much here, but we are taking precautions here at our studio, sending folks to our safe zone. Thankfully, we do have a safe zone here.
Yes,
at WBKO.
everyone in our studio is now safe in shelter right now.
So we're in a good spot.
We are in a good spot, so we're going to have the same screen pulled up for the time being as this storm passes through, but everyone will want to be in shelter.
So again, we do have a tornado warning in effect. There's not a confirmed tornado on the ground, but that can certainly change at any moment. It is radar indicated. We're keeping an eye with our camera here. I'm going to be looking at our camera. I'm going to be flipping back and forth. The warning has now shrunk just a little bit. Again, we're not getting a great signature around Bowling Green, which is obviously good news. But again, these storms have a history of recycling. Radar indicated rotation. This warning will continue for the next 15 minutes. And of course, we do have the new warning that is in effect for basically eastern parts of Warren County, also into Barron County as well, just outside of the Glasgow area, and southern Edmonson County is under this warning. And this is a latest look at velocity here. I'm going to go back to our live camera here. Before I do that, let me turn on radar here really quickly so you can see that this is very much a mess as the storm itself passes. It is passing through Bowling Green as we speak. Looking back at our camera here, this is what we are seeing as this tornado or potential tornado does approach the city. Not getting a very good look at any sort of true structure of this storm, as it is very, very rain wrapped. But I'm noticing right now not as many folks out there on Russellville Road, which is good news.
David, we might be able to switch to South Tower cam, and it's a little bit wider shot. We might be able to see a little bit more with that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, actually, let's do that really quick. Switch to our South Tower cam, and
Which would be Tower 1, yeah.
here's another look at how we're seeing things. So yeah, you can just
Very
see
dark.
a good, yeah, very, very dark sky out there. We've been getting some pretty frequent flashes of lightning as well. Certainly as the storm was approaching, we did notice some decent structure on this. But right now we continue with the tornado warning. Please remain in your safe zone until the threat has passed. And even when the threat has passed, if there's any damage outside, please do not leave your location.
Oh, wow. This is video or a photo from Zan Lee. They've been sending in some very helpful images. It looks like, I'm not sure the exact location that it is in. I'm assuming it's still from Olmsted, but it appears that a portion of a roof was actually removed from, it appears to be a house.
All right, so yeah, that's just to our west. And again, this storm is moving into Bowling Green right now. We are starting to experience some pretty intense winds. There's no confirmed tornado, but there have been reports of tornadoes, like Davis was saying before. We do have damage a bit further to the southwest, but right now I really want to focus in on Bowling Green. We are still on air as we speak, and on Bowling Green, we're getting some very, very, very heavy rainfall, and looking outside with our cameras, just like whiteout conditions because of the rain The rain is coming down at a very heavy rate. Still not seeing any real good signatures on velocity, but I can tell you that the heart of the storm is starting to move on through as we speak. And if you're out there into Polkville or Rocky Hill, you'll need to take shelter immediately. We do have a tornado warning in effect right now. And the storm is basically right over Bowling Green. We could even be getting some hail out there. So as we go back to our velocity product, again, I'm scanning between different radar products here. If you're just joining us, we do have a tornado warning that is in effect for South Central Warren County, also parts of Edmonson County, and northwestern Barron County. And what you're looking at here is our velocity product. I realize if I try to go to I can't really go to the camera here because that will mess us up on Facebook Live, but we're not seeing a very impressive rotation here, but I can tell you that this storm has had a history of producing tornadoes. And right now, looking outside of our studio, it's just we're dealing with some very, very heavy rain as this tornado-warned storm continues to move into the area. Again, if you're over there in the Polkville, if you're in Bowling Green, obviously, you stay in your safe zone until the threat has passed. Thankfully, we don't have a great signature on radar. The last time we got a true report of a tornado on the ground was just outside of Russellville. So this storm has lost a little bit of its intensity, but we still have the warning in effect, which does include Bowling Green as well as Polkville. You can see out there in the Sunnyside, Plum Springs, you want to be in your safe zone right now. Shawnee Estates, if you're on the south end of Bowling Green along Nashville Road. Out there towards Rich Pond. We've got South Warren High School out that way as well. If you live around that region, you know where I'm talking about. But right now, it just seems like based on our camera that we've got some very heavy rain moving on in, some strong gusty winds.
We do have images coming in from Logan County off of 103 of power poles down.
So this tornado has certainly had has had the history of producing tornadoes. We've gotten video, we've seen video, and we've seen damage reports as well. So if you are, again, just joining us right now, we are on a Facebook Live as we speak. Looks like there's a little bit of a delay on our Facebook feed, so let me refresh that, make sure that everyone's seeing what I'm seeing. So yeah, it looks like for some reason our feed is going a little bit slow here.
Could be because of the rain, not sure.
So,
I mean, we are taking quite a bit of rain on. National Weather Service is noting that if there is any rotation now with this storm, it's going to be more aloft over the area, which that's a good thing. That means that there's likely not a tornado on the ground right now, but still the concern that one could form at any point. So we want to continue to take this tornado warning seriously. As David mentioned earlier, these tornadoes are cyclic, and they go through cycles, and they can go up and they can go down. And thankfully, right now at this point in time, it appears that it's up off the ground, but we do not want to steer away from the seriousness of the warning that is issued. Continue to be in shelter, and we will notify you once that warning has been allowed to expire.
So again, if you are just joining us right now, the worst of the storm is pushing through Bowling Green. Again, there are no confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground, but don't let your guard down. A tornado warning is still in effect. And I'm going to put back Doppler radar here so you can see what we are looking at. You can see that the strongest portion of the storm continues to move on through. It's still a little bit of a a hook here, but the wind shear has kind of let up just a bit, so we are still noticing some rotation, but it's higher in the storm, which is good news. We still have a rotating storm here, but we may not have a true tornado on the ground. But again, if you're under a tornado warning, a tornado can form at any moment. These storms, like Davis was saying before, can go through cycles, and we know the history of tornadoes in December in this area, and this storm has had the history of producing tornadoes. And if you're if you're anywhere along 65 here, sorry, I have a little trouble sometimes moving the map. Here we go. If you live anywhere close to I-65 in Warren County, you'll want to seek shelter. Sunnyside, as well as Plum Springs, Smiths Grove, you'll want to be taking shelter right now. Pondsville, and as we continue into Cleabit in southern Edmonson County, Pig, as well as Rocky Hill, Mary Oaks, Red Cross, Oil City. This is into Barron County, and even the fringe of Glasgow is under a tornado warning right now. So we are still certainly seeing some intense winds, some very heavy rain. We're dealing with some very, very heavy rain as we speak, as this storm continues to move on through.
I'll tell you what, our Independence Bank camera right now it's near zero visibility. There's ponding water on the roadways. Rain is going sideways. At one point, we were able to see parts of I-65, and now we can no longer see that due to visibility.
Yeah, so we're dealing with obviously very, very heavy rain. There's probably some hail in there as well. Hail threat hasn't been overly high. Obviously, it's been the wind and the tornado threat that has been the greatest. But yeah, this is a live look outside. This is Scottsville Road, and it is very difficult to see anything in front of you as the visibility has essentially gone to nothing. And the heavy rain can obviously obscure any sort of view of a possible tornado. And we live in that area of the country where rain-wrapped tornadoes can be more frequent than other places across the country. And so even though there hasn't been a true report of a tornado still on the ground as it has moved through Bowling Green, that does not mean a tornado cannot drop, because we still have the tornado warning that is in effect. This again is a live look outside along Scottsville Road here.
It did just get briefly really light there for a second. I don't know if...
I think that could just be...
I thought maybe it was the behind, like the back end of the storm coming with some sun, but it's...
Yeah, it could just be with the camera right now. But yeah, this is camera's getting a little crazy here. Let's see if we can... We'll change to... I'm going to change here to our... Let's change it to our tower cam. And we got the bird.
We have a friend that's taking shelter from the storm.
Back. Looks like things, are starting to settle down as we speak. But of course, the storm is continuing to pass by Bowling Green. And another look at radar here. If you are just joining us, if you're just hopping on, thank you for tuning in to us. We're also streaming on our app and on Facebook and on our website, WBKO.com. You can hit the stream tab to see us there. And we're also on Facebook Live. So this storm has now just passed by the station here. Still Bowling Green right now, the city itself is definitely taking some very, very heavy rain, strong gusty winds, and there is still the potential that a tornado could be on the ground. There's a chance that another one could still develop, so I don't want you to let your guard down just yet. I want you to stay in that safe zone. If you're over there into Even the Hardcastle area, your winds are going to be picking up very soon if they haven't already done so. Polkville, we have a warning in effect, and also for western parts of Barron County, that tornado warning is in effect. You can see this is a pretty large warning. It does take into account southern parts of Edmonson County, even over there near Mammoth Cave National Park. We do have the tornado warning in effect. Sunnyside, Smiths Grove, be in your safe zone. And again, just to rehash what a good safe zone is, that refers to an interior location away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And also remember to take those blankets. You can take blankets, you can take pillows, whatever you need to make everyone feel a bit more comfortable, a little bit more at ease, and of course to protect yourself from any sort of a flying debris that we may face. So the storm continues to pass by Bowling Green. Another look at radar. Right now you can see the heart of it, probably even seeing some hail over the city itself. As I kind of zoom into the map here, Small House Road, I mean, this is out there towards the campus of Western. And anywhere you see that red, that's indicating some very heavy rain. And most of that is from Shawnee Estates all the way to Bowling Green. And again, for some, I can tell you right now, if you're out there into Logan County or Todd County right now, yeah, things certainly settling down in a big way. The tornado warning is still in effect for Bowling Green. And this storm is continuing towards Rocky Hill, Pondsville, and will also be making the move into Barron County as well. So if you're just joining us, we are at 3:16. We are on Facebook Live. We're streaming on the app. And we are also on air. So we're on Facebook Live, we're on the website, and we're on air. And we are looking at this tornado-warned storm, which right now, as of the last, I would say 30 minutes, there's been no report of tornadoes on the ground.
I'm going to double check reports just to...
But Davis he's looking at those reports right now. And I'll look at our velocity product here. I was noticing what looked like could have been a little bit of a hook starting to show up on radar, but not getting a good velocity signal here, which again is an indication that the shear in the storm itself isn't as intense as it was before, so the rotation isn't as intense. But the tornado warning does remain in effect.
The last tornado report that we had was at 3... Let me make sure I'm getting this correct here. It was 4 miles northeast of Guthrie, and that is in Todd County. Train spotters had the damage that was reported from what was likely that tornado when it was still on the ground a little bit further back. Thankfully now, again, it appears that the tornado has lifted as it's moved through here, and really we've just seen some really heavy rain in the area, but that is the last report of any sort of tornado or tornadic potential damage that we have received here in the studio.
So it looks like the area where we do have maybe still some rotation in the atmosphere is passing by Bowling Green as we speak. Not totally in the clear just yet because there's some very, very heavy rain out there, but into Polkville as well as Oakland and out there towards Pondsville, you'll want to stay in your safe zone. We still have the tornado warning in effect. We're going to stay on air, and we will stay on Facebook Live. We'll stay on all our streaming services until this warning has been allowed to expire. But of course, we still have the warning in effect until 4 o'clock here. So that is still for another 40 minutes. So if you're out there in the Stovall community, this is Barron County, Railton, even towards Glasgow, stay in your safe location. Rocky Hill, Pig, this is getting us into the south end of Edmonson County. There's a tornado warning in effect until 4 o'clock. Folks have asked about mobile homes, manufactured homes.
That is,
If you're further away from the actual storm itself, like on the eastern edge of the tornado warning, and you do have a chance to get out to a more sturdier location, we advise that you do that. If you're in a vehicle, stop, pull into a parking lot, get into a good structure, a business, and that's going to be your best bet when you are in a vehicle or in a mobile home. And of course, when the storms are kind of bearing down on you, you just have to remain in your safe zone, the best spot that you can possibly be, if you don't have enough time to actually get to an even safer location. So we just want to make sure that everyone remains safe, and we don't have a true tornado confirmed on the ground as we speak. A lot of heavy rain out there. Not even getting a whole lot of lightning right now, which could be a sign, again, that the storm might be losing a little bit of its intensity. But we're also dealing with an environment that may not be conducive to a ton of lightning with these storms. And it's more the rotation factor. It's more, there's a lot of wind shear, and so that can allow these storms to continue to spin. And thankfully, we've lost some of that spinning energy that this storm needs to keep on producing a tornado. And again, like Davis was saying before, last true report of a tornado on the ground, or at least tornado damage, was out there in the Todd County. We did get a report that there was still a tornado on the ground near Russellville. And the warning has now been trimmed back. Bowling Green is no longer in the tornado warning. So the threat has now passed outside of a Bowling Green. If you are in Bowling Green, obviously it's still raining very, very heavily, but you are good to come out of your safe zone. If there's any damage in your yard or any sign that there may be power lines down, do not attempt to go outside and inspect the damage. We're still getting some very heavy rain though here in Bowling Green, but right now the warning has expired for Bowling Green. Sunnyside, Polkville, that's where I'm seeing probably the best indication of still maybe some rotation. This warning does continue until 4 p.m. Pondsville, Hayes, if you're in any of those communities, please stay in your safe zone. Smiths Grove right now is still under a tornado warning. If you're traveling along 65, I would just advise that you get off at the nearest exit and seek shelter immediately. You still have a little bit of time over there into Barron County. The one question asking, is it going to hit Glasgow? Right now, Glasgow is kind of on the very edge of this warning. So if you are in Glasgow, I'd still advise that you stay in your safe zone. Let's not let our guard down, because again, this storm can pulse right back up and start to show a more defined tornado signature. But if you're just joining us right now and you're wondering about Bowling Green has been cleared of the tornado warning. It is still pouring outside, so we're still dealing with the threat of even some isolated flooding. So that is really going to be our concern right now. Logan County, you're in the clear, but you can see again we're tracking some rain further to the southwest, and that could lead to some additional flooding as we go over the next few hours. But I really want to focus in currently on our tornado warning that we have in effect. That does include 65, basically from just outside of Bowling Green all the way over there towards Smith Grove, Park City as well. Cave City not quite in the warning, but that could obviously change here. So a good section of I-65 is still under the warning. But again, Bowling Green, if you're in Bowling Green or Rockfield, Woodburn, you're in the clear from the tornado risk. But I can tell you there is the chance for some flooding maybe over the next few hours. Some of those drainage ditches really fill up. So we get another scan here, and one thing I'm still kind of noticing just by the Polkville area is that we still have looks to be a little bit of an appendage. And whenever you see that, that's indicating that we certainly still have some rotation here. It's just not as good as it was before. And here's another look at our velocity product here. And again, we haven't really seen any good structure, any good signature show up on radar basically over the last 45 minutes or so. But still, we've got some pretty strong winds, even some hail over there near Polkville, also in Oakland, Pondsville. Stay in your safe zone as long as this tornado warning is in effect, and that includes you folks out there in the Park City, Oil City. The storm is starting to approach Barron County. If you're in Allen County, you are in the clear, you're good. The storm will stay to your north. If you're in Simpson County, you're in the clear, you're good. Butler County, Logan County, Todd County. Right now, we are in the clear of any additional tornado threat, but out there in the Todd and Logan County, we've had confirmed reports of damage. So if you see any of that damage, stay away from it. You don't know. If you see electric lines, you don't know if they're active or not. It's not like they're jumping around sparking like what you see in movies. They can be active even if they're not doing anything. So
we did get an interesting image in from Holly on Facebook of some storm damage along Dillard Road. I'm still working to get an exact location as to where the city is, but there is an image of a garage door that was actually completely blown in, including some structural damage as well with some support beams. So there has certainly been plenty of damage that has been out there. I'm even seeing some really disturbing areas that were affected in Tennessee. How houses were definitely, some of the second floors were completely destroyed. And thankfully, it sounds like that may have started to weaken as it had entered into the Kentucky area. Still some damage to some power poles nonetheless, but as it stands right now, we haven't had any new reports of damage, at least I believe in Warren County. So it's always a good sign to know that the storm is potentially weakening.
all right, getting reports that the cows are still going off in Bowling Green. Well, I mean, we're no longer under the warning in Bowling Green, so I'm not sure why. There's no additional threat right now. Nothing off to the west, but we're actually still watching some storms down there south of Clarksville. So
we hear them now here. Yeah.
Yeah. So the tornado sirens are still going off here, and there are no immediate threats. But we are another thing we'll have to watch. We'll have to keep an eye on some of these storms further to the south, down there into Tennessee. And so if these get a little bit closer to the Kentucky-Tennessee line, obviously we'll keep you up to date. But we do not have any other warnings in effect right now. But there are still some potential tornadoes down there into parts of Tennessee that could certainly have an impact on our area, maybe over the next hour and a half or so. So we're going to keep you up to date. I want to really focus in on the tornado warning that we do have in effect right now. And here's the warning. Let's stop it. Again, it's not looking like this is actually how a lot of storms look when you have a high shear environment with not as much instability. They kind of have that like weird, almost like kidney bean look to them. So there's certainly some rotation causing the storm to basically rotate and get that little appendage to it. And this storm's been racing too, so a lot of times the general motion of the storm can increase any sort of spinning motion of it and can allow for a tornado to develop. But hearing that, yeah, the cows are still going off in Bowling Green. The warning has been lifted for Bowling Green. So Bowling Green right now things are looking a little bit better. Sunnyside and Polkville, the storm is passing by. Rocky Hill being your safe zone. Smiths Grove as well. Up there around Pig. Warning, you're just outside of the warning, and actually Mammoth Cave National Park is just outside of the warning as well. So let me get the latest. I believe we had another update on the warning. If I can get it, it's not letting me. But the storm is the most intense over into far eastern parts of Warren County along 65. There's probably a little bit of hail. Let me see if I can get on our hail graphic here, give an indication of what we're looking at. I haven't seen many reports of hail, and right now it doesn't look like we have much hail with this. It's just really strong winds and certainly some very heavy rain that could lead to some flooding out there. And we're also keeping an eye on some of those storms down there into Tennessee, as they could potentially move into the area over the next hour or so. We're going to keep an eye. You can see there is a warning just to the south of Clarksville here, and we got a storm. We got some pretty good rotation there. So that's another storm that we'll have to keep an eye on as it does get a little bit closer to Kentucky, crosses over 24, Interstate 24. So again, if you are just joining us, we still have a tornado warning that is in effect for parts of the area. Having a little difficulty with the map here. Here we go. This is where the warning is, and when we're looking at this velocity product here, what you're really looking for is the green next to the red. That indicates some pretty significant rotation. We haven't really seen that across Warren County. The main issue that we've been dealing with is very heavy rain that's been leading to some ponding of water on roadways, and also just those very, very strong winds. Cave City siren is going off right now. Okay, so yeah, Cave City is just on the very edge of this tornado warning. And you can see some other locations as well. I'm gonna switch back to our radar product here. Switch over here. Actually, let's switch up here. All right, so I'm going to go from velocity to reflectivity here. And here's what we are looking at right now. This is a little bit better here. The Hayes community, you're kind of where the center of the storm is right now. Smiths Grove getting some torrential rain, Rocky Hill as well. And as we continue to kind of move the map here, you can see over there towards Park City, the heaviest part of the storm about ready to move on in. Highland Springs as well. Cave City just outside the warning, but I hear that the sirens are going off there. Warning in Bowling Green, there is no longer a warning in effect for Bowling Green.
They just trimmed it again too, it looks like.
And does the warning just still say that it's Doppler radar indicated?
For the time, let me take a look here. Tornado warning continues. Severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado located 10 miles east of Plum Springs, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour.
All right, so this is approaching Plum Springs, moving at about 40 miles per hour. It's near the Mary Oaks community, along with Apple Grove. And if you're in Rocky Hill, Park City, stay in your safe zone. Even though we don't have a report of a tornado on the ground, the tornado warning is still in effect, which means that a tornado can drop at any time. So we still want you to be in your safe zone. Smiths Grove, things will be improving here shortly for you guys. At least the tornado threat will. Pondsville, seeing some very, very heavy rain right now. And Cave City, you guys will eventually be getting in on this storm. We'll have to see if the tornado warning is continued. Right now, we are at 3:34. And we've got the warning in effect for another 26 minutes here. It's due to expire at 4 o'clock. Tornado warning remains in effect for far western parts of Warren County, including including Pondsville, as well as Smiths Grove, Rocky Hill in southern Edmonson County under this warning. This also includes 31 West out there towards the Park City area. We do have a warning in effect. Apple Grove also under the warning. Mary Oaks, stay in your safe zone until the warning has expired. Even out there towards Oil City, and the western fringe of Glasgow is under the warning. So other locations that could certainly be affected by the storm include northern Barron County, even northeastern Barron County. But again, we're going to wait to see what the Weather Service does with this warning, if it remains a tornado warning or becomes a severe thunderstorm warning. Horse Cave, Monroe, even towards the Munfordville area, you guys are under the gun for some torrential rain and strong winds, and even a tornado could drop at any time. Notice back in the Bowling Green, we're still getting rain. It still looks kind of nasty out there, but the tornado threat has subsided. We're going to keep an eye on some of these storms a bit farther to our south and west. And right now, we're also getting some strong storms out there towards Muhlenberg County and also through the Hopkinsville area of Christian County. But we do still have some tornado-producing storms south of Clarksville that will continue to watch. And as long as there's still a tornado threat in the area, we will continue to remain on air and online.
The Nashville National Weather Service is...
All right, come over here and can you speak into the mic?
Yes, sorry. The Nashville National Weather Service, they're keeping an eye on those storms that David was just highlighting south of Clarksville. Those areas, they would likely push up into portions of Simpson and Allen counties. That's if they stick together and stay together. So they're keeping a close eye on that, and that will eventually start to progress this way, or if it does progress this way, it could also shift a little bit more to the east, but that's something that we're going to be keeping a close eye on, and National Weather Service areas or sites around our area are keeping a close eye on that. If we have any new warnings, we'll be sure to pass that along to you.
Yeah, so that's a good point that Davis is making, that we are monitoring storms to our south that could certainly still have an impact on the area. Want to keep you focused in on this tornado warning that we have for far eastern parts of Warren County, as well as a southern Edmonson County. This is just outside of the Mammoth Cave National Park. This includes Rocky Hill, where you're getting some very, very heavy rain right now. Park City, over there into Barron County, you're under the warning. And even far western parts of Glasgow, just included in that warning. This also includes Oil City as well. But if you're in Bowling Green right now, we are certainly in the clear from any additional warnings, but we've got some nastier storms that are starting to appear between Guthrie and Russellville, areas right along where that tornado was tracking a little bit earlier. So flooding is now becoming an increasing threat as we go over the next couple of hours. So if you don't plan to go out anywhere, I just advise you stay at home and stay with your first alert weather team, because we've got you covered. Again, I'm trying to keep an eye on all the comments. You guys are our eyes out there, so if you see anything, why don't we have a weather helicopter above the clouds? That'd be nice if we had a weather chopper, but we don't actually.
I did get an interesting video in here. It is reportedly from Warren County. What looks like it was a tornado on the ground for a period of time. This was earlier. That the threat now is moving out of Warren County at this time. But so that will be something that the National Weather Service sites will have to conduct field surveys to see what exactly did occur and what did not occur. But we're getting plenty of video and photos that are starting to come in. So thank you all so much for sharing that. It really gives us a good idea as to what has happened and what could potentially be moving in other areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, with this storm, it has had a history of producing tornadoes. I'm going to put a track on it here. It has been moving pretty quickly. Park City, the storm is moving on in right now. Cave City, we've got about 10 minutes for you guys. Gridersville, about 14 minutes. And Heistville, you have a little bit of extra time here. But this storm is moving fairly quickly, so the more lead time you get, the more time you have to get to your safe spot. And for some folks, that may involve you having to go from your manufactured home or trailer to a more sturdy location. But it does appear that the tornado warning has now been trimmed back even more, which is really good news. So Park City's still under the warning. We still have a little bit of that, noticing that notch here, and that could certainly still indicate some decent rotation in this storm. So as we kind of focus in on this area right here, this is where we still may have a tornado, even a funnel cloud. We certainly have a lowering. We'll likely have a wall cloud in here. And this is along 31 West. This is just outside of Rocky Hill right now. The warning has been trimmed back. Gridersville no longer in the warning. Horse Cave no longer in the warning. Glasgow, you're barely in the warning. It looks like the storm will probably pass to your north here. But if you are in Rocky Hill, stay in your safe zone. Park City, right now the storm is knocking on your door. There's still potentially a tornado here. There's certainly a tornado risk. And these tornadoes, they can drop quickly, they can retreat quickly, but they can go through cycles. They can be cyclical. So we just want to remind you that even if we're not always seeing the best returns on radar, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's no tornado on the ground. The National Weather Service has been obviously monitoring this closely. We've been able to check in with some storm chasers out there just to see if they're seeing anything, storm spotters as well. And we haven't really had too many reports of an actual tornado on the ground in Warren County, but of course that could change as more information continues to come in. So if you are just joining us on air, on Facebook Live, on our live stream, we do have the tornado warning that is in effect for eastern parts of Warren County, far southern Edmonson County, and also northwestern Barron County, including the community of Stovall over there towards Highland Springs. Glasgow just on the edge of this, but right now the way things are looking, this is certainly a heavy rain and strong gusty wind kind of storm here. Could produce winds maybe in excess of 50, 60 miles per hour, which can still cause damage like a very weak tornado. So we don't want to underestimate the power of wind. It doesn't just have to be a tornado wind to produce some damage. I'm sure we've had reports of down trees and power lines across this path of the storm here, and we'll continue to receive more reports as we go over the next couple of hours. But around the Park City area, that's where we're seeing the most intense part of the storm. Apple Grove as well, Stovall, Highland Springs, Rocky Hill. We've got this tornado warning in effect. Mary Oaks, as well as Oil City. See the storm not looking overly impressive, but this warning does continue for the next 17 minutes here. And we are keeping an eye on some of these storms that are farther to our southwest here. Out there towards Allensville, there's no warning on that storm. That is, again, very close to the same areas that saw the tornado earlier as it continued to move to the northeast. So right now we've got some nastier storms associated with the main cold front out there towards Ebenezer and also into a good portion of Muhlenberg County and also into Ohio County. But what you're getting out that way, I don't want to leave anybody out here, there's nothing severe. It's just very heavy rain and we've got some strong gusty winds. Again, that's the main cold front moving on through. but we still have the warning that is in effect for this storm here. It's definitely not looking overly impressive as we go back to our velocity product. It is passing by a rocky hill as we speak. And let me change the radar setting here. And again, it's going to look like this on velocity, on max storm velocity here. We've just seen a lot of red. Whenever you see the green next to the red, that indicates some stronger rotation, and right now we don't have any of that. And if that trend continues, this warning may be canceled, but it still does continue for the next 15 minutes. So we're not letting our guard down, because these storms can recycle and certainly produce tornadoes. I've always been told as a meteorologist, and I've learned as a meteorologist, if a storm has a history of producing tornadoes, it can produce them again. Just because it lifts doesn't mean it won't drop another one back down. So that's something you always want to keep in mind. The storm certainly still has a hook feature to it, but we have rotation aloft in the storm and no real tight rotation down to the actual surface itself. It's getting near Highland Springs, passing by Stovall right now, probably noticing a nasty dark cloud rolling overhead. And that could be even the wall cloud with this storm, which is the rotating base of a thunderstorm. It's all part of the bigger storm itself that's rotating, but when you get that lowering, that wall cloud, from that wall cloud, that's where you can get those tornadoes to develop. And so there's certainly still a possibility that we do have maybe a funnel cloud or even a tornado somewhere around the Park City area. And so if you're in Cave City right now, you don't have the warning in effect, but you'll still want to make sure that you're staying in a safe location. Stay away from windows, because even without a tornado warning, you always want to stay away from windows during storms in the event that there's a lightning strike or wind knocks down a tree and it happens to hit the location that you're at. So the latest on the storms, we're definitely not done, even as these storms continue to kind of lose a bit of their intensity. We've got some stronger storms out there. Over there towards Muhlenberg County, Central City, Greenville, Drakesboro, very, very heavy rain. Flooding is definitely going to be the risk here, and that goes for the storm over there near Russellville. And that extends into far southeastern portions of Todd County. I live right at the railroad tracks in Rocky Hill. This is a viewer comment on Facebook Live. Right now, not raining. Yeah, it just so happens that the storm is very, very close to you guys right now, but it may not be raining at your exact location. But give it a couple of minutes here, and you'll certainly be dealing with the nasty weather right now. Actually, Rocky Hill, that was an older comment, so I'm sure you are already dealing with the very nasty weather. I mean, it can go from it's okay 1 minute to, boy, you're dealing with some very nasty conditions.
David, we got an interesting video in, actually. This is the first one I'm seeing in from Warren County. This was located near Stagner Farms, near Elrod Road, which is over, it looks like, just off of 165, not too far from the station. The video, it's hard to physically show because we don't have it on air yet, but the very heavy winds coming in, and then you quickly see the rain direction shift quite rapidly. So it's quite possible we may have had something occur, but I don't see any damage in the video. But there's a definite twisting of the rain as it was coming down. This would be on the south side of Bowling Green.
So yeah, we'll have to check with any of those reports coming in. Right now, let's see. My radar, I don't know if my radar is lagging, but it looks like a severe thunderstorm warning Yeah, it looks like my radar time is lagging. We're actually at 3:50, 3:49 to be exact, according to my computer here and our clock in our studio. And here's the latest on the storm situation. It now looks like there's just a severe thunderstorm warning. That is likely going to replace this warning. The tornado warning is going to expire here in 10 minutes. Could be canceled before that, but we now just have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northern Barron County and also southeastern Hart County. This includes the Horse Cave area as well as Seymour. You can see the real heavy rain surrounding Cave City right now. The storm is almost out of Warren County. We still technically have the warning in effect, but the tornado warning has now really just become a severe thunderstorm warning for the Horse Cave community, also for Seymour, all the way out there towards Hardyville. We have this warning in effect, and just outside of Munfordville. Actually, the tornado warning has been trimmed down to just include Highland Springs, Stovall, as well as Park City, still under that tornado warning. Certainly, still that look. It still has that look to it, to where we have enough wind shear to where we could be dealing with a tornado in and around the Park City area. Also near Cave City, but the tornado warning is due to expire here shortly. Let me erase that really quick. We're also getting some very, very intense rain. We've had some high rainfall rates, and we're getting that training, which means that the storms are moving over previously saturated areas. And right now you can see those storms moving by Russellville. It has been very dry as of late, so this rain is good, but we'll have some flooding in those drainage ditches and along the sides of roadways. So if you're still planning to do any sort of travel right now, it's really the heavy rain threat. That is our main concern with a lot of these storms, but we're still keeping an eye on those storms down there in Tennessee. You can see that we do have warnings just outside of Springfield. That is on the bottom part of your map there. You can see those warnings in effect. So we've still got some very nasty weather. The rain and storms off to the west, that's associated with the main cold front. Right now, there are no warnings in effect for those. The only warnings we still have in effect, we still have that little tornado warning that remains in effect for far northwestern Barron County, and that will continue for the next 8 minutes or so here. Let's move back over that way, and you can see that it is just a little part of Barron County that still has the warning in effect, and that does include you guys in Park City. Cave City, Horse Cave, severe thunderstorm warning. The main threat for you guys is going to be some very, very heavy rainfall, and also the risk of strong, potentially damaging winds. So that tornado warning is still due to expire at 4 o'clock. I would expect it to just continue for the next 7 minutes, and you can see that we now have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for much of northern Barron County, also even into parts of Metcalfe County around the community of Center. We do have that warning in effect right now. I want to go to rainfall here, because I am getting a little concerned about the risk of some flooding. You can see some areas on the map, especially out there in the Christian County. Some of the latest reports indicate an inch or so of rain, which not a whole lot, but we've got more rain coming, so there's obviously a risk of some additional flooding for some areas. Northern Christian County, you can see some areas around 2 inches or so. Out there into northern Grayson County, we are certainly dealing with some higher rain totals, and we've got more rain to come. So the flooding threat is out there over the next couple of hours, and we're still watching some pretty nasty storms. They're just to the west of Nashville. We got several warnings in effect for these storms over there towards the Nashville area. So if you're thinking about doing any sort of travel for your Saturday night down there towards Music City, may want to think of some alternate plans, because there's a lot of tornado warnings in effect right now to the west of the city. We are monitoring those. If those would enter our area, it would possibly be out there towards maybe Allen, Simpson, and Monroe County. But right now they're still a ways away. But you can see another warning has been issued here. So we're keeping our eyes now on these storms a little bit further to the south, as they certainly do have the potential to produce tornadoes. Let me see if I can look. Yeah, that storm right there has some pretty good rotation on it. Again, this is heading towards the Springfield. This is nearing the Springfield community, but there's no warning in effect right now. So I'm going to try to jump on some of the warnings that I'm seeing around the Nashville area to give you an idea. Actually, Davis, are you seeing reports of tornadoes on the ground anywhere like west of Nashville?
Let me see here, because it's definitely more active down there. Let me take a quick look here.
Okay, yeah, do a little searching here. Well, we certainly do have those radar signatures. Now that's kind of some broad rotation there, but there's certainly some more areas of rotation down there towards Dixon. Again, this is taking us into Tennessee here. I want to go back to the storm in Barron County that continues to move on through. The tornado warning should be expiring here in about 4 minutes. The tornado threat is certainly limited with that storm right now. But again, we are keeping an eye on some of those tornado warnings down there into parts of Tennessee. You can see over there into Muhlenberg County, Hartford, Ohio County, torrential rain right now, and that's moving back into Todd County as well. See that tornado watch does continue until 7 o'clock. So our tornado threat's not completely over just yet. Again, this tornado warning due to expire in about 4 minutes here. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the Horse Cave area, also towards Pascal. That is southern Hart County, just to the south of Munfordville. You don't have to necessarily be in a tornado shelter, but you'll certainly want to be inside and away from windows as these storms continue to move on through.
It does look like that the tornadoes or the tornadic storms that are down in Tennessee right now, they are starting to weaken a little bit. But the back end of those storms it's starting to the RFD of the storm, or the rear flank downdraft, which is essentially the back portion of the thunderstorm. They're noticing that's starting to tighten up a little bit more. So they're still continuing to monitor that further down into Tennessee. Now that's still a little bit a ways from our area, but that's what they're watching, and that's kind of the next big or concerning thing that we're potentially looking at entering into our area.
Yeah, so that's the well to our south. We have a tornado warning in effect for parts of Tennessee until 4:15. The warning in northern Barron County is due to expire here in 2 minutes. We're also watching some storms farther to the west into Todd County, Muhlenberg County. Thankfully, there's no warnings on those. Beaver Dam over there towards Ohio County, we're seeing some torrential rain right now as these storms continue to make their way through the area. Is it going to hit here from Tennessee? Again, Brittany, we're keeping an eye on those storms right now. There are no warnings in our area. There have been radar confirmed tornadoes. Radar confirmed tornadoes mean that the rotation looks really good on radar and that there's likely a tornado on the ground. When a report comes out and says confirmed tornado by spotters or by chasers, then that's when you know there is a tornado on the ground. We did have that earlier into Todd and Logan County. So far, not seeing any huge damage reports. Did you get an idea of any power outages, Davis?
When I had originally looked, there was nothing pulling up on the rec site, but I'll take a second look here and see if we can get an updated.
Trying to figure out if there are any power outages.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
So there is actually down. What's
Here,
interesting
I
is
got it up on the computer here, so you can come over to this.
Oh, perfect.
slide here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in Logan, we have some power outages currently in Todd, Logan, Warren, and Simpson County. Now, the area in Warren County, it's kind of interesting because that was actually a location that we received a video of that I had briefly mentioned, where the rain, the wind was blowing really intense, and then the rain shifted directions. So that could be very likely from a possible tornado of some sort of damage. Now that it's over, let me get an exact look here.
So right now, basically across Warren County, we have roughly 28,000. Actually, right now in the county, we have about a little over 2,000 without power. Simpson County, as of right now, just under 200. Logan County, a little under 1,000, and in Todd County, we have about 600 folks without power right now.
So it looks like the main area that does not have power right now within Warren County, it's right now near I-65, and the neighborhoods just to the west of that, from the south of the Greenwood Mall. There's a high outage there, showing about 1,000 people within that neighborhood without power. So definitely a good size outage going on there. But other than that, it looks like too there might be some just across. So in that I-65 Scottsville Road area is where we're really seeing outages in Warren County.
Okay, so right now, we no longer have any tornado warnings in effect for our immediate viewing area. We are continuing to monitor storms further to the south here into Tennessee. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for southern Hart County and northern Barron County, as well as northern Metcalfe County. What I think we can do right now, Kevin, if you can hear me here, we can go back to regularly scheduled programming on air. We can go back to that. If we can keep the stream running on our website, and of course we're controlling our Facebook Live, we can do that. So we'll send you back to regularly scheduled programming. We do have the crawl running, and if there are any tornado warnings that get issued because of those storms coming in from the southwest, we will pop back on. But if you want to continue to follow our coverage, continue with us on Facebook Live, and you can also continue on our website, WBKO.com. We are streaming live there.